Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Hamis from Kindi Group of Companies, and as usual, we are back with another design. It's a layout. This time round, we have brought you a 4 acres mixed farm. I'd like you to be patient with us as we go through the items on this layout one by one. We have farm accommodation space, we have farm store, we have a farm hay shed, we have a farm residence, which is majorly the farm owner's place. We have 200 goats, their section. We have 1,000 local birds, but not the usual kinds of setup we have, so there's a bit of a difference from what we usually have. We have steel 50 cows section, steel being that the material used for construction is steel. We have a parking lot, of course, because we have a farm, we have farm residences, you need somewhere if someone came in their car where they're going to park. We have a driveway because our farm has an entry point, and so you need access to parts of the farm that are actually far from the access point. In case we have like someone who has come to do some little training, they've come to maybe see a few things around, this accommodation has space for staff that run the farm day to day. It has 5 units. These 5 units can be double occupancies, like they are big enough to house 2 people each room. And then that accommodation also has what we call toilets on the sides, like a bathroom and flushing toilets that are built along with the farm accommodation. But although water may be scarce or a bit hard that side, we have a pit latrine because, you know, sometimes you want those toilets to stay clean and water may not be a reliable thing, so we put both options just in case water is not an issue. We can resort to the pit latrines. Someone may ask why we have both a farm store and a hay shed, yet ideally the store should keep the feeds. Okay, the hay shed has 2 purposes. First purpose of a hay shed is a space where you can dry ingredients of the hay itself, because usually we recommend you do not sun dry your hay grass. So you can actually lay it out in a hay shed, and after it has wilted, you know, its moisture content is low, but it's not yet dry like that dry zero moisture content. You can now pack it up and bale it, right? So that is one purpose of a hay shed. But also, if you're going to do things like silage, you're going to sort out feeds, things like that, you can actually do them in an open space. You don't have to do them under the sun. Now, this is from the perspective of the workers doing this job, because silage has no limit. You can do it from wherever. But must you do it under the sun, right? So that's why we have a hay shed. It can be used for so many things. It's an open shed, so it can be used for so many things. But also, after the hay has been baled and all that, it can actually still be just packed up and left in an open, free, you know, with open air circulation. While a store, on the other hand, it is majorly for those things or those items that you need to protect from weather, right? Things like that don't deal so well with rain, things that may not deal so well with cold or open air. We talked about parking. Parking is basically, we've positioned it to have access to the farm residence, the hay shed, the store, and the accommodation. The store, you have cows, you have goats, you have chicken. They actually have feeds you're going to bring into the farm, the items you're going to bring into the farm or take away from the farm. So you need to have direct access for these trucks that come in, and probably a parking space. That is where our parking literally touches all those 4 items, because the person that comes to the accommodation, if they come by car or whatever, they'll need somewhere to park. If someone is bringing things to the store, the hay shed, or picking something up, they'll need that vehicle will need to park somewhere. If you're going to the farm residence, you also need parking. The farm residence is basically a full setup home, right? Our farm residence is a full setup home. We gave it a good compound, beautiful looking compound. It has a small garden really, where you can have like small events even. So it's basically a farm you can come and stay at. It's not like those farms you just go to see your animals and drive away. If you wanted to stay like a whole month or stay for good, it actually has space for that. It has a compound, it has a gazebo where you want to stay like chill, but you're outdoors, not in the house, in the living room, whatever. You can do that in the gazebo. If you want to like be out in the compound, you have a small event, you have friends over, you can do that there. The house itself is a 2-bedroom house. It has a living room, it has an open plan dining and kitchen. It has 2 bathrooms, one in the master bedroom, one is a common bathroom. So it's a fully fledged house, a fully fledged home. Then we talked about a drive-through. As you can see in our plan, our video, our livestock structures are like on the back side of our farm, right? They are not like frontmost. So when you're bringing, like, say our shed is a 200 goats shed, we have a 50 cows shed also, 1,000 birds. Say you're going to bring in like 50 goats, say you're going to bring in like 10 cows, even just 2 or 1. You don't want to park at the main parking lot and then like now start ferrying these things in a more manual manner. So that is why we have a drive-through that actually accesses, can take you closer to the goat shed, the chicken structure, and the cow structure. So that is the purpose of our drive-through. We are going to go in so much detail about our goat structure because now this is basically a song, but just so you know, it's a raised goat structure. It's wooden by material. It has an exercise yard of about 100 by 100, which is like a plot of 100 by 100 feet. Yeah, our exercise yard is separated into 2, separating the pregnant animals and those that have just given birth from the general flock. That exercise yard has a spray crush where our animals are sprayed. It has outdoor feeders where animals eat when they are not inside the shed. Our shed has all the things that make our good quality shed, as we've discussed them over time. It has indoor troughs, it has partitions, it has, it is raised, it has a concrete floor under the shed for collecting that, the waste manure and all. If you're interested in finding more details about our raised goat structures, you can look for another video, and there are plenty of videos that talk about our goat structure, what makes them good quality, what makes them long lasting, things like that, why you want to have a raised structure over ground structure, and all those things. So that is in our videos, our big catalog of videos. Moving to our chicken structure. I told you our chicken structure is not the normal one from what we usually have. Why? It is not so complicated. We didn't change anything. It is a deep litter structure, meaning our chickens, before we put our chickens in the house, we put a layer of litter or covering on our floor. Deep litter, just to explain a little bit, deep litter is the system where you put litter on the floor of the chicken housing, and this litter is not removed, but it's rather you add like a layer over time, periodically, until like up to 3 layers, and then you remove the whole litter. Now that can be used as manure or something. This kind of litter can be coffee husks. For those that know processed coffee, those husks they remove. It can be sawdust. It can be those wood chips when you go where they lumber timber from. Those small particles that fall off from the cutting of the timber. You can use any of those things, and you keep making a layer. The idea is that the droppings of the chicken are mixed with these things, and it keeps the place dry without rotting, right? And then as it's starting to grow old, you add another layer and another layer. The maximum is 3 layers, and that is over like a period of 2 months each. And then from there, you can remove that whole 3 layers and now make new ones. What makes our structure different this time? Our client requested that his chickens are going to be local birds and they're going to be on free range, but he didn't want them just roaming around the farm anywhere, although he still wanted them to be outdoors. So what we did is we provided a shed, an outdoor shed. So basically these chickens walk out, but they don't just go anywhere. The same way we have an exercise yard on the goats is what we put on the chickens. So we enclosed their space of about 150 feet by 100, and we literally enclosed it off. And then we didn't just enclose the sides, but we also covered the top, so that even things like praying birds and things like that do not pick his chickens. You understand? So you find that even when your chickens are outdoors, they've laid eggs or they've hatched outdoors, you don't worry that a bird is going to pick them or a dog is going to walk by and eat a chicken or nothing. They go outdoors, but they are as safe as being indoors, right? We have a 50 dairy goats structure, and as I mentioned, this structure is built in steel. Apart from the roofing system, is the trusses are wooden, but the columns, the separators in the cubicles, all those items are steel. Why did we do this? You find that our 50 goat structure is a big structure. So making it in wood over time, much as in construction, you can have something that can last up to 10 years in wood. But if we are to be honest, at some point that wood will grow old, right? 10 years, 15 years, that wood will grow old. So if you look at steel, you may also say steel will grow old, but truth be told, steel will last at least three times longer than wood. So you find that if you were going to say wood will last 10 years, steel may last 30. That is why we constructed it in steel. And then this shed is a modern kind of shed where we don't have we have the animals sleeping in their cubicles. They are separated. In their sleeping cubicles, we can put sand, we can put sawdust steel, we can put those wood chips just to make the animal comfortable while it sleeps. And then, of course, those cubicles are a bit narrow, not too narrow, but a bit narrow, so that animal just sleeps in, but cannot be rotating around and, having its droppings anywhere. So when it enters, it just enters and faces wherever. If let's say it entered frontwise, it will face wherever it's facing and just sleep, but not turn in the cubicle. The same way, if it goes eating, the eating may be a bit open, but it's the feeding side is also just to allow the animal put its head through a metal grid. It's like a metal grid, but there's a separator from where the animals stand from the feeding trough, so that the animals cannot keep crossing over, right? So they can eat, and then where they eat from, now they are free to move around, and then there is also the water trough. So that's where we expect the droppings to be, and that makes it easier to clean, but not where they sleep. So at the end of the day, you find that our animals are very, very clean because they don't get to sleep in their waste. Our cattle structure also has, because inside the structure they don't get much movement, so we provided a paddock where they can they're free, they're zero grazing cows, but we of course need to give them a bit of exercise. So we provided a paddock where they can step out of the shed, and after they've fed and whatnot, they come out and walk around. The paddock has a bit of grass, but of course we are not counting on that grass to be what they feed on, although it's edible by them. So they can walk out, be in an open shed, experience some bit of sunlight, things like that. Then on that facility too, we have a sprayer for the cows, and then in that facility we still have a milking spot. I think is going to have a milking machine. So we do not put the milking machine, but just provide a space where it can fit, where they milk a cow at a time or two, but there is a space for it. There is space for calves. There is a general calves pen, so they are not separated, but a general calves pen where they can go in. If you're going to bucket feed them, they can be fed from there. They get to move around a little bit, and maybe also they can be released to the paddock. Also, you will notice that there is a smaller hay shed on the side of the cattle structure. Why we did that is because after hay has been prepared the other side, and you have to feed these animals at least twice a day, for example, you do not want to be carrying hay from the main hay shed the other side, which is a bit far. So you bring up, let's say in the morning when you bring stock for that day, You can pack all whatever they're going to feed on and put them here, so that when you finish putting feeds in the troughs in the morning, in the evening you don't have to carry again from the main shed, but rather it's already closer, so you can now carry smaller work into it. Basically to minimize work for the staff that run the farm. Yes. And then we also have water stands around the shed of the cattle. This is simply to allow for, because it's a modern setting, we figure there's a lot of cleaning going to happen in the cattle structure, and given that it's also big, you'll need a lot of water to clean it out, right? So we may as well trap the water coming from the roof, store it, and then that can be used later in cleaning, in feeding, in spraying the animals. Water has plenty of uses on a farm. The water tower is, as you can see on our plan, is located between the store and the farm accommodation. Basically, we just wanted to have water flow by gravity, because sometimes people dig wells on their farms and then now they have to spend on solar, they have to spend on maybe an electric water pump to keep pumping water into these toilets. So we may still need the water pump on this case, which may be solar or electric, but then we have reservoir tanks, right? So whether it's collected from rainwater or from a well, the water is pumped into a reservoir tank, then it flows by gravity to our accommodations or to wherever the water may be needed on the farm. Lastly, we have trenches in the design in our video. These trenches are basically because the particular space we went to when we went to visit the site is sort of in a valley. In fact, half of the land should be in where the valley starts from. Although the soils are firm and the farm is going to be located in a lowland, it's mostly clay and all that, but we figured that if at all there is a heavy rain season whereby the water should be so much, we have a way of draining our farm. And then in these trenches, in drawing them up, we allow for what we call sip holes, right? These sip holes are majorly to allow for, you may think the trench is just for running water, but no. These spaces that have our structures set up also have open ground spaces, you know. So when it rains, our ground is going to absorb the water. But we put these trenches and put those sip holes in so that when this water, as it sinks into the ground, some of it can escape through those sip holes into the trenches and flows away. Why do we do this? Clay can be a farm soil if it's not over dug up, but then you still don't want it to be very soaked with water during the rain seasons, right? So it will have some water, it will have a lot of water that it will retain, but we allow for that water to escape so that when the rain stops, our ground drains a bit faster so that it remains firm, so that it doesn't affect the water. Groundwater doesn't affect our structures. We all know groundwater affects our structures. They will either sink, parts of them will sink, and then before you know it, built up structures start getting cracks, things like that. Or if it's wooden, then you're going to start seeing the poles rot and things of the like. So we don't want that to happen to our structures. That's why we provided those trenches, and then of course we have culverts to allow a bit of easier access. Because of the so many spaces, we have the paddocks, we have the exercise yards, we have the shed for the chicken, we have a parking lot, we have garden for our home. You will find that we have a lot of space used up, right? But we actually managed to still have an acre of land for small pastures to be grown at the farm, and then other extras can be planted elsewhere for our livestock. Even if you chose to use that space for a garden, for example, or you wanted, whatever you want, this space can do for a small bit of plantation farming. So that has been our 4-acre layout. Thank you for watching through, being there through this time, and hope you've learned something, hope it's been helpful. And for you who feels like you want something similar or you want something totally different, but you know it's related to livestock farming and farm planning, please reach out to Kimdi Group of Companies, and we shall be ready and glad to help plan your dream farm. Thank you. I remain Seguya Hamis from Kimti Group of Companies.